This is lesson 4-5. We are going to be writing and solving equations using rational numbers. So if we look at example 1, it says a 6-foot piece of fruit snack is cut into 2 pieces. What is the length of the shorter piece of the fruit snack? So here we have a part of it, the part of the fruit snack, which is 3 3/4 feet, and then they tell us that the whole is 6 feet. So now we have to find this missing piece. Well, we know that a part plus a part equals the whole. So we can write our equation as 3 3/4 plus the unknown value x equals our whole. Our whole is 6 feet. So now my goal is to get my variable alone. I want to solve for x. In order to solve for x, I have to get rid of this positive 3 3/4. What's the opposite operation of addition? The opposite operation of addition is subtraction, because I look to see how do I get that x by itself. I look to see what is attached to the x, and I'm going to subtract by that number. So whatever I do to one side, I have to do to the other side. So now I look at what's on the left. I look at what's on the left side of my equal sign. I have 3 3/4 minus 3 3/4. Those cancel. All that remains is x. Okay, on the right side of my equal sign, I read it from the top to the bottom. I have 6 minus 3 3/4. Well, and now I have to do some subtracting with fractions. In order to subtract fractions, do I rewrite them vertically or horizontally? I'm going to rewrite it vertically, so I will have 6 minus 3 3/4. Okay, so I have one whole number and one mixed number. Notice how I lined up the whole numbers. I lined up the 6 and the 3. And now I have like nothing here. I have no fraction there. I can't subtract 3/4 from nothing. So I have to rewrite that 6 with a fraction. Well, I'm going to borrow. My 6 is going to become a 5. Now I want to rewrite a whole with a 4 as a denominator. That way I have my common denominator. Well, what number should be my numerator so that my top fraction equals 1 whole? My numerator should be a 4. Now I'm all set to subtract. 4/4 minus 3/4. Subtract the numerator, keep the denominator is 1/4. 5 minus 3 is 2. So that means that x equals 2 1/4. Now I can check this by plugging it in and adding. If I plug it in and add, I would have 3 3/4. I have to line it up vertically. 3 3/4 plus 2 1/4. Well, I can add my fractions. 3/4 plus 1/4 is 4/4. 3 plus 2 is 5. Well, 5 4/4. 5 plus a whole is 6. Check. 6 would equal 6. So now as we do some practice questions, you're going to notice that we are solving equations with rational numbers. That means we will have fractions and decimals and whole numbers. The skills from solving our our one-step equations are going to be the same. Now we just have to apply our knowledge of how we add, subtract, multiply, and divide fractions. So if we look at number 6 here, rewrite number 6 in your notebook. You'll have t minus 2/3 is equal to 25 3/4. Okay, so I look to see what's attached to my t. I want to get t alone, right? I have to solve for that variable. So let's get t alone. Maybe draw a dotted line down the middle if you need help separating the left side and the right side of the equal sign. So now, how do I get t alone? The inverse operation of subtraction will be addition. So I have to add 2/3. Whatever I do to one side, I have to do to my other side, plus 2/3. Okay, so if I look on my left, now I have minus 2/3 plus 2/3. Those cancel out. All that's left is t. And what does t equal? Well, t is going to equal to, read it from the top to the bottom, 25 3/4 plus 2/3. So now let's set that up vertically. 25 3/4 plus 2/3. So what do I need to find when I add and subtract fractions? I have to find a common denominator. So what's a common denominator for 3/4 and 2/3? The common denominator will be 12. So I have to rewrite an equivalent fraction. 3/4 is equal to, well, 4 times 3 is 12. Whatever I do to the bottom, I have to do to the top. 3 times 3 is 9. What is an equivalent fraction for 2/3? 2/3, 3 times 4 is 12. 2 times 4 is 8. Now I can add these fractions. 9/12 plus 8/12. Add the numerator, keep the denominator. 9 plus 8 is 17. Bring down the 25. Well, so now I have 25 17/12. We can't leave the 17/12 the way it is. We have to convert this improper fraction 17/12 into a mixed number. 17/12. Well, 12 goes into 17 one time. 12 goes into 17 once. That's 12 with 5 left over. 5/12 left over. But I have to add that to my 25. So 25 plus 1 is 26. And then don't forget about your 5/12. So t equals 26 5/12. You should be writing this all in your notebook as I am. Notice how the procedure to solve these is the same. It just adds another layer or another difficulty by having to add and subtract fractions. Okay, next let's try number 9. 9 says, rewrite it in your notebook, r divided by 5.5 is equal to 18.2. Okay, I want to get r alone. What is attached to the r right now? Divided by 5.5 is attached to the r. So I have to do the inverse operation of division. What is the inverse operation of division? Multiplication. I'm going to multiply 5.5 to both sides. So now I look at what's on the left. Divided by 5.5 times 5.5 cancel. All that's remaining on the left is r. And what does r equal to? We have calculators. So in my calculator, I'm going to put, and you should be putting it too, 18.2 times 5.5 is 100.1. Decimal, I would rather do decimals than fractions, right? Because for decimals, we can use our calculator. Tomorrow during class time, we will practice more with fractions. Another one I want us to look at is, let's see, what should we do? Let's do number 7. Rewrite this in your notebook. F over 2 is equal to 5/8. So now this is where my strategy of circling the variable is helpful. Because I see that I have to solve for f. I want to get my f alone. Well, right now, what is attached to the f? What operation is this f over 2? It is division. Okay, so in order to get rid of division, I have to do the opposite of division. What is the opposite of division? Multiplication. So I'm going to multiply both sides times 2. Really what I'm doing here is like 2 over 1 times 1 over 2 is equal to, well, 2 times 1 is 2. 1 times 2 is 2. So this is equal to 1 whole. That's why we're canceling these out, because 1 times f would just be f. So what remains on the left? F remains on the left. Now let's solve the right. 5 times 8. Now don't try and squeeze it in here. Do the work off on the side. 5/8 times 2. Well, in order to multiply fractions, we need both of them to be fractions. So I'm going to rewrite my 2 over what number? What number can I write underneath the 2 so that the number stays the same and it is a fraction? I'm going to rewrite it over 1. Now I'm going to multiply. When we multiply fractions, we multiply straight across. Or we can see if we can simplify before multiplying. So I'd look diagonally. 5 and 1. Nope, those are both already simplified. Or they're simplified as far as they can go. 2 and 8, yes, I can simplify that because they can both be divided by 2. So 2 divided by 2 is 1. 8 divided by 2 is 4. Now I can multiply straight across. 5 times 1 is 5. 4 times 1 is 4. But I'm not done. How do I rewrite 5 over 4 as a mixed number? I have to see how many times does 4 go into 5. 4 goes into 5 once, with how many left over? 1 left over, and the denominator stays the same as 4. So F equals 1 1/4.